you for being here. I'm April. I think I've met all of you. Welcome back. So in the last few weeks in class, we've been exploring my little book of Hindu deities. And I just think these are fun stories to look at, and they all have some sort of teaching or meaning that's broader that we can bring into life and into our yoga practice. And so this week's teaching is about Uma. And Uma Maheshwara is like a combination of Shiva and his wife Parvati. So Shiva is also known as Maheshwara, and Parvati is also known as Uma. And they sort of together symbolize the yin and the yang of nature. And there's a story about a dice game between, I'm just going to call them Shiva and Parvati because it's a little easier to say. So in this story, they sit down for a game of dice, and Shiva loses everything to Uma. His crescent moon, his trident, his ornaments, everything. So he kind of throws a fit, as he does in a lot of these stories, and he leaves to the forest in humiliation and goes off and meditates. And Parvati, missing him, goes after him disguised as a tribal woman. And she's there to win him back. And essentially, I think there's more to this story, but the point is, this story is used by philosophers to explain how the universe expands and contracts. So the expansion is when they're playing and having fun and engaging and connecting. And then the contraction is when they separate. And there's a Sanskrit term for this called spanda. And spanda is the overarching term for the cosmic heartbeat, or the pulse of the opening and closing. And this is really applicable to a lot of things in life, right? There's an expansion, and it's always followed by a contraction. So we're going to really explore this in yoga. And that shows up in our breath, right? The expansion of the inhale and the contraction of the exhale. And there's also an element of expansion and contraction in those poses, right? There's the opening, expanding poses, and then there's the closing, contracting poses. So we'll play with that a little bit more. For now, let's start in a comfortable seated position. Feel free to sit up onto props if you would like, and sit any style that feels comfortable in your body today. And then allow your eyes to close down, or bring a soft gaze down towards the floor in front of you. Just allow your sitting bones to get heavy and the crown of your head to rise up tall. And let's start to tap into this spanda, or expansion and contraction, by tapping into our breath. So first, just exhale to empty to the bottom. And then inhale, filling up to the top, feeling the body expand, right? So the chest rises, the belly expands, the heart lifts. Exhale out through the mouth, feeling the sense of contraction. Everything settles, the belly draws in. Again, inhale, expand. And exhale, contract. Let's do that once more. Inhale completely. And exhale fully. Good. Now begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And feel even the expansion and contraction here of these maybe shorter or smaller breaths. There's still that lift and lightness of the inhale, the expansion. And sort of that heaviness, the settling of the exhale, the contraction. Let your awareness move inward and start to move through the body, exploring. And see if you can just start to feel this spanda, this expansion and contraction, even in stillness, by just exploring the parts of the body that are open, right? So actually physically open, like the chest, the heart, the hips. And then feel into those areas of the body that might be more contracted, right? So if your knees are bent, where the legs are bent at the hips, where the arms are bent. And just notice the difference in that sensation. And the interesting and fun thing about spanda, expansion and contraction, is there's really this underlying balance in between the two. We don't always want to be in expansion. We don't always want to be in contraction. They're sort of opposite ends of the spectrum, but they help to balance each other out so that we can come to a point of center. And so as we move through our practice today, through the asana, through the breath, the invitation is to observe how this feels, how this shows up in a physical sense, and how you can utilize these two forces to come into center, into balance. Let's take another round of breath, maybe 2 or 3. As you feel ready, let's gather the palms together in front of the heart, Anjali Mudra. And just gently bow your chin towards your chest. Let your eyelids flutter open. You can release your hands, lift your gaze. And if you're seated cross-legged, we'll change the cross of the legs. Opposite leg in front, you're on top. And then with an inhalation, reach your arms up and overhead. Let your fingertips touch at the top. As you exhale, right hand back behind you, left hand to the right leg, coming into a twist. Yeah, so inhale, expand and lift, get light and open. Exhale, turn into the twist, a little contraction of the belly, of the spine, even the chest. One more breath like that. Inhale, just observing. And exhale. Inhale, unwind, come back to center, both arms to the sky. Exhale, opposite side, left hand back behind, right hand to the left leg. You can use the hands on the leg and behind you for leverage to find more of that lift as you inhale, more expansion. And then again, use that as leverage to turn deeper into the twist and find the contraction, the settling, the softening, the drawing inward. One more breath. And then inhale back through to center, both arms high. Exhale, release right hand to the earth, left arm up and over, side bend. Expand through the left fingertips as you root down into the left hip. And then gently draw your left shoulder blade towards your right as you gaze up towards the ceiling. Little tiny twist in the upper body. Breathe into the left rib cage, and then feel that, how it expands the ribs. And then with the exhalation, how they settle and contract. Inhale back through center, both arms high. Exhale, left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up and over. Root down into your right sitting bone as you extend through the right fingertips. Gently hug your right shoulder blade towards your left, turning the right side of your heart open, and then breathe into the right ribs, leaving the breath in between the ribs as you breathe in, creating space, and letting everything release as you exhale. Inhale back through center, both arms high. Exhale, release your hands to the earth, roll forward, and come to hands and knees, tabletop position. Stacking hips over knees, shoulders over wrists. And take a little bit of organic movement here, just working out any tighter, tender spots, any sleepy areas of the body. And then come back to center, and we'll come through a couple of rounds of cat-cow, so a good expansion and contraction exercise here. Inhaling to drop your belly, lift your gaze. Here's the expansion. And then exhale to cat pose, curling and rounding the spine. There's the contraction. Take that through a few more rounds. And just start to move body with breath. slowing down your movements to match your full and complete breaths. And then make your way through to center, neutral tabletop position, and we'll inhale the right arm to the sky. Exhale, thread it down and underneath the left for thread the needle. You can lower down to rest onto your right temple, your right cheek. And then either keep your left fingertips where they are, coming up onto the fingertips, or you can extend your left arm forward or even wrap it behind the back. But either way, press into the back of the right hand. And then energetically pull your left arm towards the shoulder socket. So there's this plugging sensation. So it's really rooting in. Take a deep breath into that sensation. And stay for the breath out. Left hand underneath the left shoulder. Inhale the right arm to the sky. This time make a fist and roll out your wrist a couple times in one direction and then the other. And then we'll come back to center, tabletop. One round of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, curl and round the spine. Inhale back through to center. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Exhale, thread it down and under. Thread the needle, opposite side. Lower down to rest. Take a similar variation with the right arm as you did with the left. And then the same thing here, press into the back of your left hand and then find that energetic pull to root the left arm into the shoulder socket. And then breathe into that sensation. Guiding the breath with your visualization of the breath. Giving the body expansion where it needs it and contraction where it needs that. And then we'll release right hand underneath the shoulder. Inhale left arm to the sky. Make your fist and roll out your wrist a couple times in either direction. And then back to tabletop position. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, cow pose. Exhale to cat, curl and round the spine, puff up through the back body. Inhale back to center, and then we'll rise up to kneeling on the knees. Reach your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, release your hands to your hips, and then we're just going to extend the right leg out to the right, about in line with the hip. And then press down into the outside edge of the right foot. Inhale, arms back up to the sky, and then as you exhale, right arm to right leg, left arm reaches up and over for gate pose. Same thing as we did in that seated twist. Extend through the left fingertips, and then just gently turn the shoulder blade toward the left shoulder blade towards the right, so you can start to spin the heart open and gaze up towards the ceiling. Inhale back through center, both arms high, and cactus the elbows, and take a little baby back bend, leaning back into the space behind you. So really expanding and opening through the heart space, putting your trust that you've got yourself. And we'll inhale back through center, arms high. Exhale, release your hands down. We'll draw the knee in. And then we'll just rise right back up with hands on the hips so we can switch it out. So this time the left leg extends. Press down into the outer edge of the left foot. Really root the sole of the foot. And then arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, release your left hand to your left leg. Right arm up and over. Reach through the right fingertips and gently hug your right shoulder blade towards your right. Spin your heart open. Inhale back through center, both arms high. As you exhale, cactus the elbows, lean back into the space behind you, opening up through the heart, lifting. Inhale back to center. Exhale, release your hands, draw the left knee in, and then take a round of cat-cow or any other movements that you'd like here. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog pose. You can walk your hands forward a handprint or so, curl your toes under, and lift your hips back and high. Take some time to settle into your downward dog. That might mean movement today, or it might mean stillness. But wherever you are, let there be breath. Then come to stillness if you haven't already. Press your hands energetically down and forward to find some lengthening in your spine and your side bodies, really lifting through the hips. hips. You can even soften the knees to find a little bit more length there. Keep that, and with an inhalation, extend your right leg back and high behind you. Bend your knee and stack your right hip over your left. Try to level out the shoulder, so draw the right shoulder down. And then take some big circles, slow, with the right knee, a couple times in one direction, whatever happens naturally. And then switch it out a couple times in the other direction. And then we'll inhale, right leg back and high, level out the hips, so pinky toe points down, inner thigh up. As you exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round it through the spine, press the earth away. Inhale, reach it back and high behind you. And exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, reach the right leg back and high. Exhale, cross the body, right knee to left elbow, little twist. Inhale, reach it back and high. And exhale, right foot meets the left, downward facing dog pose. Take a deep breath in. And a clearing breath out through the mouth. Other side, inhale, extend your left leg back and high. Bend your knees, stack your left hip over your right. Re-level the shoulder, so left shoulder down, and then again, a couple big circles with the knee in one direction. And then switch that out opposite way. And then we'll inhale the left leg back and high behind you. Level out the hips, pinky toes down. And then exhale, bring the knee to the nose, rounding through the spine, press the earth away. Inhale, reach it back and high. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, reach it back and high. Exhale, cross the body, left knee, right elbow, little twist. Inhale, reach it back and high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just one breath here. Inhale, fill up to the top. And then exhale, start to step your feet forward to the top of your mat, standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Bring your feet to hip width distance or wider. Bend your knees a lot, and then just relax through the head, neck, and torso. Let the crown of your head drip down towards the earth. If you'd like to grab for the elbows, you can, for ragdoll pose here. Just let everything dangle here. The ground down into the four corners of both feet. So the big toe mound, the pinky toe mound, and both sides of the heels. Keep that, and with an inhalation, halfway lift. Hands to the shins or thighs. Extend your heart forward. Shoulders back. Exhale, bow, forward fold. Again, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, lift and lengthen. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing, Tadasana, mountain pose. Lift your gaze, lift your arms, lift your rib cage up and away from your hips. Let your shoulders soften into the shoulder sockets. A little soft bend in your knees. And then we'll exhale, hands to the heart center, Samastitihi. Close down your eyes or bring a soft gaze down towards the earth and draw your awareness inward. Right, so many times already through our practice, we've already explored this expansion and this contraction. There has to be one with the other. But really what we're working towards is balance, coming into a place of neutrality and a place of center. We have to kind of have those extremes on one end and the other to be able to know what balance feels like. With your next breath in, reach your arms up to the sky, blink your eyes open. Exhale, right hand to the right side, left arm up and over. Inhale back through center, both arms high. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale back through center, both arms high. As you exhale, soften your knees, cactus the elbows, same thing, baby back bend. Lean back into the space behind you, but hug your navel up and in towards your spine. Inhale, rise up to stand. And exhale, take your arms wide and touch down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale back to standing, Tadasana. Rise up, lift your gaze. Exhale, gather it in, hands to the heart. Inhale, Tadasana, reach up, gaze up. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale back to center, and exhale, side bend left. Inhale through center, exhale, cactus the elbows, lean back, belly stays strong. Inhale, reach up tall, and exhale, arms wide, touch down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen, fold forward, exhale. Once more through, inhale all the way up to Tadasana. Exhale, gather it in, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up tall. And exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale to center. And exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, cactus the elbows, lean back, belly stays strong. Inhale, reach up tall. And exhale, take it down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, release your hands this time, step all the way back and come to a plank pose. So we'll hold a few rounds of breath in the plank pose, starting to build heat in the body. Let your breath turn on to support you. So a little deeper in the inhalation and the exhalation. You're always welcome to come to your knees for support as you need. And then with your next inhalation, let's rock forward onto the tiptoes and exhale, lower to your knees first. Hug your elbows in, lower to the chest and chin, and then all the way forward onto the belly, tops of the feet down. So let's bring our arms wide, come up onto the fingertips, put your elbow tips up towards the sky, and then inhale to a wide-armed cobra. Yeah, let your shoulders roll back and down onto your back. Really press into the fingertips to get that lift through the heart. And then exhale, lengthen as you lower forehead to earth. Again, like that, let's rise up, inhale. Moving with the breath, exhale to release. Inhale to lift and expand. Exhale, lower and contract. Inhale to rise back up. This time as you exhale, dip your right shoulder to center, gaze over the left. Little twist. Inhale through center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale to center. Again, like that. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale to center. Lift up tall. And exhale, lengthen as you lower forehead to earth. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Firm up your belly and your thighs. And then inhale. Plank or tabletop, you choose. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift your hips back and high. Yeah, take a few rounds of breath here. Allow the breath to just flow through. With your next inhalation, extend your right leg back and high behind you. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose just once. Pause and hover. Take a breath in, press the earth away and hug your knee in a little bit tighter. And then with your exhalation, step forward and through, come to low lunge. Now we're going to inhale all the way up to crescent lunge pose. Reach your arms up to the sky. So find your balance. If you need, take your feet a little bit wider, like hip width distance. And then we'll gently bend the back knee to start. Draw your right hip back, left hip forward, and then start to lift through the left inner thigh. Lift your rib cage up and away from your hips. Maybe start to lift your gaze and gently start to explore that space behind you. Big breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to release the hands to the earth and come into standing split. So we'll lift the left leg. So hands can be on the earth or blocks. But really power up the lifted leg. Try to keep the hips level. Pinky toe down, inner thigh up. Flex the foot. And then we'll come just to a baby leg quarter lift. Lengthen your spine forward as much as possible. Keep that length and then bow forward, hip a little higher through the heel. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, release the left foot to meet the right. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Bend your knees, sit your hips low, and inhale, arms high, Utkatasana, chair pose. Feet can be hip width distance or toes to touch with a sliver of space between the heels. Rotate your weight back into your heels, toes are light. And then sit a little deeper as you reach your heart a little higher. Good. Nice work, my friends. Make sure you're breathing. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold forward, straighten the legs, forward fold. And we're going to inhale to lift the left leg back and high like the standing splits, but then just a big step back, landing in low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge pose. Reach your arms high. This time we'll spin open warrior two pose, back foot grounds down. Press into the outside edge of the left foot, or right for Sarah. You're welcome. And then rotate right knee open towards the pinky toe. Let your arms be strong, but even here, see where you can find that balance in the midpoint between expansion and contraction. Right? So there's a lot of expansion in this pose, but where can you soften to support that? Good. Flip your right palm to the sky, reverse warrior, reach up and back, low body stays the same. Reach up through the fingertips, breathe into the right ribs, and then exhale, spiral the hands down to the earth, low lunge, step back, into plank pose. Let's another round of breath here. Inhale, stay strong. Exhale. Inhale, glide forward onto the tiptoes. Exhale, you can use your knees or not, lower all the way down to the belly once again. This time, hands can remain underneath the shoulders. Inhale for Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. Just one time, release, exhale. Curl your toes under, find your way to downward facing dog. Plank, tabletop, maybe even through child's pose. And then enjoy your rest. A couple rounds of breath here. And so this idea of finding balance, the midpoint between expansion and contraction, doesn't mean we need to erase the extremes of the expansion and the contraction. We need all of it, right? That's part of our human experience. But it's about not necessarily spending too much time on one side or the other, but allowing there to be an equal distribution to all of it, so that we can experience the full range of sensations, of experiences, emotions. Take another round of breath here. Exhale. Inhale, extend your left leg back and high behind you. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, rounding through the spine. Stay for the breath in, hug in a little bit tighter. And then exhale, step forward and through into your lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge pose. So again, we'll bend the back knee just briefly to square the hips, left hip back, right hip forward, and then start to lift up through the right inner thigh. Lift up through the rib cage, lift up through the heart. Maybe start to explore that lean back. One more inhalation. And then exhale, release your hands and come to your standing split. So balancing on the left foot, extending the right leg high. So again, rotate pinky toe down, inner thigh up. Let's come to that baby quarter lift, lengthen through your spine. Keep the length and exhale, bow forward, lift up through the heel. One more breath in here. And then exhale, right foot meets the left, standing forward fold. Bend your knees, sit your hips low, inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Again, rotate weight back into the heels, toes are light. Sit your hips low, lift your heart high, but keep hugging navel up and in towards the spine. Let your shoulders soften. And then exhale, fold forward, straighten the legs, release. Inhale, extend your left leg back and high, standing splits. Exhale, big step back, landing in low lunge. When you're ready, oops, did I do that wrong? Should be right leg back, I think. Sorry, now I'm the one that's messed up. Okay, so inhale, arms up to the sky. Crescent lunge first, and then exhale, come into warrior two. Good, back foot grounds down. Press down into the outside edge of your right foot. Rotate left knee towards pinky toe edge of your left foot. And then let your arms be strong, and again, find that balance. Expand where it feels spacious. And then soften, maybe even contract where it feels maybe a little less spacious. Maybe it would feel safe to start to turn inward. use the mind, right? Put your left palm to the sky, inhale left leg, left arm up and back, reverse warrior. Stay deep in the lunge in the left knee. Reach from the left hip to the left fingertips. And then with your next exhalation, spiral your hands down to the earth, low lunge. Step back, come to plank pose. Now this time you can choose lower to your belly or halfway for Chaturanga Dandasana. Use your knees if you'd like, hug elbows in. Inhale for upward dog or cobra, heart up and through. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Good. Deep breath in. And clearing breath out. Let's do that again. Inhale. And exhale. Once more, breath in, breath out. Now we're going to move through that sequence, breath to movement. So with your next inhalation, reach your right leg up and back behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale the knee to the nose, pause and hover, breathe in, squeeze in. Exhale, step forward and through, come to low lunge. Inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge pose, both arms high. Exhale, release your hands to the earth and lift your left leg, standing splits. Take a breath in here and exhale, left foot meets the right, low lunge, forward fold. Good, bend your knees, sit your hips low. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale your left leg up and back. Standing splits first and then exhale, big step back, low lunge. Inhale, high crescent lunge pose, rise up. Exhale, spin open, warrior two, arms wide, hips wide. Inhale to reverse warrior, reach up and back. And exhale, release the hands down, step back into plank pose, and go through your vinyasa of choice, lower to your belly or halfway, Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows into ribs. Inhale, lift the heart, upward dog or cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog pose. And just remember that you can always skip that vinyasa when it's not serving you. Modify it as needed, make it yours. This is your practice, and you know your body best, so please follow your intuition and do what feels right for you today. Another round of breath here, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, extend your left leg back and high behind you. Exhale, bring the knee to the nose, rounding through the spine. Inhale here, hug it in tight, and exhale, step forward and through, low lunge. Good, inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge pose, both arms to the sky. Exhale to release your hands and come to standing splits. Lift the right leg this time, inhale. Exhale, step forward, top of your space, forward fold. Bend your knees, sit your hips low, arms reach high, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale to release, forward fold. Inhale, lift your right leg back and high, standing splits. Exhale, big step back, low lunge, you got it. Inhale, rise up, high crescent lunge pose. And exhale, turn open, warrior two. Inhale to reverse, left arm reaches high. Exhale, release your hands to the earth, step back, take your vinyasa if you want it, or skip it. We'll meet in downward facing dog pose. And once you arrive in your downward facing dog pose, take a breath or two, and then we're gonna come into child's pose, a little rest. Right, so we've been really working the expansion of the practice. We're kind of expanding to that pinnacle, like the peak. Right, and then we take these moments to pause and contract, give us a little bit of balance, allow us to integrate the work that we're doing here. Back to downward facing dog pose. Your time getting there. Good. So let's inhale right leg back and high. Exhale, step straight forward and through, come to low lunge. Rotate your back foot down like warrior two, but we're going to come into side angle pose. So the block is really nice here. You can also bring your right fingertips to the earth or right forearm to thigh. And then we'll extend left arm either straight up towards the sky or bicep by the ear reaching towards the front of the room. Yeah, so tune in here and feel into your right side body. So if there's too much contraction, see where you can expand so that you can have space in both side bodies. Tuck your right sitting bone underneath you and rotate the left side of your heart. Notice your breathing. Make sure that you're still breathing nice and deeply here. And then with an inhalation, we'll rise up and come to smile. So both arms high, toes out, toes in. Exhale, hands to the hips. Bring the feet either parallel or pigeon toed, setting up for a wide legged forward fold. Roll your shoulders back onto your back. Hug your elbows together. Lift up through the heart as you inhale. As you exhale, start to bow forward. Keep hugging the elbows together all the way down until eventually you release your hands underneath the shoulders. Let's inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold, and now walk your hands forward out in front of you. So I like to kind of grip onto the mat or the floor, and then energetically kind of pull it back towards you so that you can really lengthen and stretch through your side bodies. Let your hips take more of the weight here. Then relax your head. You can shake it yes, shake it no. Breathe deeply. And eventually walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Bring your hands to your hips and inhale, rise slowly all the way up. Now we're going to turn the right toes forward towards the front of the mat, setting up for triangle pose. So if you need to shorten the distance between your feet, please do so. Extend your arms wide. Bring a little gentle micro bend into your right knee. And then inhale, reach forward to your fullest extension, right when you want to tip. Release the right hand and lift the left arm up to the sky. Right hand can come to the shin or block inside of the right leg. But again here, see where the body is contracting. If your right side body is really crunching to try and reach down, see if you can lengthen and find more expansion. Or at least a place of balance in between, right? It doesn't have to be one or the other. And then gently stack your left hip over your right as you open up the left side of your heart. Reach up tall through the fingertips. You can stay right here or come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. So left hand to left hip. Right fingertips or block will come forward of the right foot as you bend the right knee. And then slowly start to step the left foot in and eventually lift the left leg. So this is an open head pose as opposed to standing splits, right? So we want to really open the left hip to stack over the right. Power up the lifted leg, flex the foot. And then if you got it, you can reach the left arm up to the sky. You can always keep the left foot down and stay in triangle pose. Just take another breath here. And then with your exhalation, bend into your right knee and take a big step back, landing as best as you can in warrior two. It might take a couple steps. Extend your arms wide. Feel the soles of your feet on the earth. Flip your right palm to the sky. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, ride the breath down, low lunge. Step back, plank pose. Inhale, glide forward onto the tiptoes, and exhale, lower to your belly or halfway chaturanga dandasana, elbows in, nice Tara. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog, lift the hips. Really nice work, my friends, you're doing beautifully. Just come back to your breath, shake that off and let it go. Yeah, we'll pull another side to explore that on. Take one more round of breath here. And then when you feel ready, inhale, left leg up and back to lunge. Exhale, step forward and true, come to your low lunge. Rotate your back foot down, setting up for warrior two legs, and then we'll come into our Parsvakonasana side angle pose. So right finger, left fingertips to the block or the earth, maybe forearm to thigh, and then eventually right arm extends straight up towards the ceiling or towards the front of the room, nice and light here. And then tuck your left sitting bone under, rotate the right side of your heart open, so it's a spiral of energy through the whole upper body. And there's a lot on your neck, a lot of tension and softness. Relax it down. Beautiful work. Inhale, rise up to star pose, reach your arms to the sky, toes out, heels in. And then exhale, hands to the hips. Set up your feet for a wide leg forward fold, parallel or side extension pose. Roll your shoulders back, hug your elbows together. Inhale, lift up through the heart, low back bend. And then exhale, gently bow forward, keep hugging the elbows together. Eventually release your hands to the earth, and again we'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. This time turn your fingertips away from you and crawl your hands underneath you, away from you. So this time you're gripping onto the floor behind you, and you're pulling it towards you as you bend your elbows, almost like chaturanga arms. And this will relax the forehead and the front of the head down towards the earth, and the weight will come forward to the balls of your feet. Your sitting bones will spread back and left wide behind you. Heels will get a little bit lighter. And then send breath into sensation, leading the breath into those tighter, tender spaces, creating balance with the contraction and the expansion. Spot on. Start to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the hips, squeeze the elbows together, and slowly rise up with a long spine. And we'll set up our feet for triangle pose, Trikonasana. So right toes point forward, arms extend wide, micro bend in the left knee. Inhale, reach the left arm forward, reach, and then tip over. Left arm releases, right arm reaches high. Then walk in the knee. And find the expansion, the balance between the expansion and contraction. So lengthen and pull side bodies. Snap your right hip over your left this time. Open up the right side of your heart. Same thing here with the head and neck. Feel free to play with the angle in your gaze or just drop your ear towards your shoulder. And then you can stay right here or start to move into that half moon variation, Ardha, right? You have to right hip to begin. Bending into your left knee, bring the left hand or the left block forward. And then maybe some baby steps forward, and then eventually play with starting to lift the back leg. You can also kind of down and up, just starting to really play with the balance. And then if you've got it, you can extend your right arm up towards the sky. Again, here you can play with gaze here, especially to work with the balance. So I find it a little bit more balanced to look at the ground. If it feels really easy, maybe bring your gaze out in front of you or up towards the ceiling. And notice your breathing. Make sure you're still breathing. One more breath in. Exhale, big step back, landing in warrior two. Footing, arms extend wide, got this. Inhale, reverse warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to the earth, step back, plank pose. Take your final vinyasa, claps if you want it, or skip it. We'll meet in downward facing dog pose. Nice work, my friend. It's really beautiful strength. Take a round of breath in downward facing dog. And then lower down to your knees, child's pose, knees wide, toes to touch, hips to heels. Release your forehead to the earth, extend your arms forward. So much like our yoga practice and our breath, there's expansion and contraction in many areas of our life. In our relationships, in nature, we see a lot of expansion and contraction in nature. Even in our just day-to-day, right? There's the expansion of the day, the sunlight, the opening to the midpoint of the day, and then eventually the movement towards darkness. the contraction, and then we start that cycle over. So that's something that we can count on, right? There's always going to be the opposite action to balance out whatever it is that we're in. If we're in expansion, we've got the contraction to look towards. If we're in contraction, we have the expansion. What would it be like if we could find moments, maybe not the whole time that we spend in balance, but maybe just moments. Feel ready, rise up, come to a seat with your legs extended out in front of you. And if you like, sit on the edge of a folded blanket or some forward folding. All right, so let's extend the right leg out to the right, about a 45-degree angle. Sole of the left foot to the right inner thigh. Flex your right foot back towards you. Sit up tall through the spine and inhale, extend your arms to the sky. And exhale, right arm down. You can rest it onto the right leg with your palm facing up, or take it inside if that's available. And then we'll reach the left fingertips up and over towards the right toes. Root down into your left sitting bone and gently turn the left side of your heart open. Gaze up towards the ceiling. And again, you can play here with the angle of your chin, turning the head, working with the neck, maybe even all the way down into the spine with those movements. And then inhale, rise through center, both arms high. As you exhale, left hand back behind you, press into the left hand and the left shin. Sweep the right arm in front of you and then up as you lift up through the hips. Exhale to release. Okay, let's do that the opposite side. Left leg extends, flex your foot. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, left arm down on top of the left leg or inside, palm facing up. Right arm up and over. Extend through the right fingertips and gently turn the right side of your heart open. Breathe in and out, expanding and contracting. So now we've moved to more of the contraction part of class, right? So we're starting to release, we're starting to sort of cool down, we're sort of neutralizing and balancing out all of the expansion that we've done. Inhale back through center, both arms high. Exhale, right hand back behind you. Lift up, sweep your left arm in front of you and lift up through the hips. And then exhale to release. All right, so now let's take our legs wide into a big V shape. If you're on the blanket, come right near the edge so your pelvis tilts forward. Flex your feet back towards you. Inhale, arms up to the sky. As you exhale, tip forward, but keep your spine long. Right when you want to round the spine, then release the arms. And then here, you can grip onto your mat, and just like we did when we were in the standing forward fold, pull the mat towards you so you can extend your heart forward and find that tip forward more from the hips than the shoulders and the spine. Try to keep the toes pointing up towards the sky, press out through the heels, so nice and active through the legs. Smooth out your breath. Gently rise up. Bring your hands behind the backs of your knees. Slide the legs so that the feet are on the earth, but the feet are still wide, not with distance or so. And then we'll bring the hands back behind for balance and gently sway your knees side to side. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and extend your legs, extend your arms, move the blanket to the side, but make sure you've got a block nearby. And then gently, slowly lower all the way down to your back. Pause on your back. Just feel the support of the earth underneath you. Feel how that support of the earth underneath you, sort of pushing up the joints, gives you a little bit more expansion, right, in the heart space and the hips. And then bend your knees, setting up for bridge pose. Bring the heels in front of the sitting bones. Arms by your sides, palms facing down. And then inhale, lift your hips, coming into bridge pose. You can interlace your fingers underneath your low back or grab onto the edges of your mat and pull it down. Yeah, and then imagine there's a block in between your thighs. Squeeze that imaginary block. Root your heels down and forward to press forward through the shins. With all of that, breathe. Right, so there's both expansion and contraction in this pose, right? There's expansion of the heart, expansion of the hips a little bit, right? But there's a little contraction as well because there's an engagement of the glutes and the belly to stay strong here. Take one more breath in, and then exhale, gently lower your hips down to the earth. Take a pause and just let your knees fall together, hands to the low belly. Just feel the breath expanding and contracting. Then we're going to take a supported bridge pose this time. So have your block available. Bend your knees, heels in front of the sitting bones once again. Inhale to lift your hips up into your bridge pose, and this time slide the block underneath the sacrum. The wide way is usually most supportive, but take what you like. Make sure it's low enough on your back so that you can just allow the weight to be supported completely by the block. Just let your hips become heavy. When you feel complete, gently lift your hips up off the block, move the block to the side, and lower your hips down to the earth. This time, Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees open wide. And hands can rest to the hips. And then hands to the outer thighs to draw the legs together, knees into chest. Give yourself a little squeeze and circle out your knees a couple times in either direction. And then keeping your knees bent, release your feet to the earth. Extend your arms out to the sides to a T shape or a cactus shape. Setting up for a reclining twist. Let's lift the hips, move them to the right, and then let your knees fall to the left. Stacking right hip over the left. Turn your gaze towards the right arm if that feels comfortable, or just keep it up towards the ceiling or even towards the left arm. Just allow your body to relax into gravity and allow your exhalations to lengthen a couple beats longer than the inhale breaths. And inhale back to center, knees into chest, circle them out a couple times once again. Then feet to the earth, knees bent, arms wide. Lift your hips, move them to the left, and allow your knees to fall to the right. Unwind your twist, come back to center, knees into chest, circle them out. And then happy baby pose, grab for the outside edges of the feet, the calves or the thighs. Extend your heels up towards the ceiling, knees bent wide. Take any movements, see if that feel good, or just enjoy the stillness. Eventually make your way to extending your arms and legs out long to take up lots of space. Allow your feet to fall open towards the outer edges of your mat. You turn the palms up towards the sky and tuck your shoulder blades underneath you to open up your heart. Exhale your breath empty to the bottom. One more breath here together. Inhale fully. Exhale completely. Just allow your breath to be natural. Let your thoughts float into the background. Allow yourself to fully relax. Softly and gently start to invite in a deeper breath. Allow your awareness to begin to reemerge into your physical body. And begin to reawaken with some slow and gentle movements of the fingers, the toes, the wrists and the ankles. You can extend your arms up and overhead to take a full body stretch, reaching from fingers to toes. And last time, hug your knees into your chest. And roll to your right side, come to a fetal position. Moment to pause. Maybe to revisit this idea of expansion and contraction. Spanda, the pulsation of life, of nature, of our bodies. We need one to have the other, and we need both to find balance. And gently rise up, come to a comfortable seat. close up our practice together today with a breath and an Om. You can fold your palms together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra, sit up tall through your spine. Exhale your breath, empty to the bottom. Breath in, fill up to the top. And exhale to the bottom. Breath in for Om. Bow your chin to your chest, bowing to yourself, to each other, and acknowledging your work. The light and the teacher within me honors and bows to that same light and teacher within each one of you. Namaste. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you being here. You're welcome. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to see you next Monday. Have a great night.